Well, welcome to Caching in the Northwest. Did you know this is the official podcast of Geo Woodstock 18 right here in the Great Pacific Northwest? Each week, we're going to talk about caches and cachers from here and all around the globe. So while you're stuck in line behind a Karen asking for the manager, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
Well, and of course, that means it's time to bring in our community chimp. Some say he won't try to sell you his pillow. And others say he's tougher than a rattlesnake chewing on thunder. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Hello, my friends. Good to be back here. It's a Thursday night. We are here to take down the internet with all of our good friends, as we do every Thursday night at 9 p.m. And we have some extra special guests tonight. And anytime we have guests, they're extra special. But these are extra special guests because I declared them so this evening.
Okay.
We have... I'm going to say from below me and then moving over, we have, look at Lisa and JD. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy you're back.
Good to have you guys. And then below Jim, or on the other side, we've got welcoming also back to the show, MC3 Cats. Hey, Chris, good to see you.
Hey, thank you for having me come on. Hello, everyone.
It is our pleasure to have all of you guys. And tonight we are going to talk about building community, not building communities, because that's going to be a whole different show.
Yeah.
Where we're going to get into woodwork and
not building communes.
no, that's
Different
probably
entirely.
not our show.
No,
we're going to talk about building community in the geocaching community. And we've got some real experts on that topic on tonight. And we're really looking forward to getting into that. But before we do that, of course, at this point in the show, every Thursday that I'm on the show, hopefully every Thursday period, but we will have a quick reminder that we appreciate the support of our patrons who help to keep this podcast coming each and every week. And a special thanks to Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Hey, did you know Landsharks has added the ability to leave product reviews on landsharks.ca? Once a month, Landsharks will draw for one $25 gift certificate from all the customers who've left a review that month. So, get on there, check out the products, leave a review, be one of the cool kids. And hey, speaking of cool kids, if you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link over on the CachingNW.com, a website.
And there's a lot to do to keep up with the cool kids. You know what the cool kids do? They call in They call it in with their very own voice, or, you know what? You could email them in. But it's time for the Glow. What is the Glow? It's the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. Send an email or a field recording in your own voice to feedback@cachingNW.com. You can call into 253-693-TFTC. Once again, in your own voice. Or use a voicemail tool in your own voice on the website and show us how you glow. I don't know if you noticed anything there. I want you to call in. I want you to send in your voice.
Yeah, because he's tired of hearing my voice. If you don't call in, you're stuck hearing me. Just like, Dune Buddy sent one in. This is from GC4671N called Hey Arnold Goes to College. Short, sweet log here. It says, I parked the car and I told my muggle, it's right over there. I'll be right back. And left my phone in the car. Of course, out of two options, I chose the wrong one. After fiddling around trying to get to the container, I went back to the car and got my phone. I was 20 meters off. Adjusting my direction, I selected choice number 2 and made the find. Of course, while I was trying to make the find, there was a car cruising the parking lot back and forth, and then stopped opposite of where I was on my hands and knees looking for the container. I wondered if it was an unmarked security car. So after making the find, I told my muggle I was going to swing around, drive by the car, and wave at them as I sped away. it was someone obviously taking advantage of the empty parking lot, learning how to drive. TFTC.
Oh, that's a fun little story.
That could have been dangerous, I think.
Yeah.
New driver. Hey.
I've taught
Yeah.
two people how to drive, and one was better than the other. That's the reason I kept that old truck as long as I did.
Because we all assume those cars that pull up are there for the cash, right?
Obviously,
Why else would they be there?
I have no idea why. Else would be there. Hey, folks, if you want to add to the conversation tonight, use the hashtag friends. Put that right there in the chat, and our wonderful chat lackey is going to moderate that and bring it out for us. And of course, we always have hashtag Patas, which you can bring up for the after show if you want to talk something. Oh, maybe it's a cache you find, a cache you want to do, what you had for lunch, anything you want to talk about that may not be related to the show.
I can't remember that long ago.
I can't even remember what I had for dinner, or if I had dinner. Whatever.
Usually they're related because usually my lunch is last night's dinner leftovers. So
That's a good point.
anyway,
Hey, you know what? We got a little bit of news. There hasn't been a lot of news from the geocaching community, but there's a little bit that came out this week. Blind Monkey, you want to jump on that?
Sure, I would love to. Absolutely love to. So, guys, you may have seen either an email that came from HQ or one of the approximately bajillion social media messages from everybody who geocaches and has a social media account that something new has come out on the geocaching.com website. It's pretty cool. It's called the Cache Owner Dashboard. And I'm just going to switch over here to sharing my screen. So if you haven't taken a look at this yet, I would, especially if you own some geocaches, highly recommend that you take a look at the Cache Owner Dashboard. So I'm just bringing mine up here. Wow, is that flashing for everybody? Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
all right, I'm going to stop doing that.
Seizure inducing.
Yeah. So apologies
Seizures.
for that. I'm going to try that one more
Try
time.
it one more time. Why not?
Yeah. Let's try one more time and see if it. There we go. All right. So there we
Okay.
go.
Look at all those tabs open.
Yeah. Yeah. Pay no attention to the tabs. But yeah, no, check this out. This is super cool. So the Cache Owner Dashboard, you can find it at geocaching.com/play/owner, or if you look on the play menu and you pull down on play, it'll say Cache Owner Dashboard, and in giant blue letters, new. That's the clue right there.
Hmm.
So that hopefully makes it a little harder to miss. But check it out. Go check it out. It's got some really cool stuff in there. Obviously, it gives you, like most dashboards, this quick view here. What shape are your caches in? I would like to point out that none of my caches currently need maintenance because I went and did maintenance on all my caches last weekend. However, it has some other cool stuff. Lists your published hides, any unpublished hides you have. Oh my, I have an unpublished hide. Yeah, it's the event, right? We're all waiting to put our events out. But it has all the logs, the most current logs on all your active caches. Cool feature for those. We were talking about this before the show. Those who have virtual caches and Earth caches, pictures that people attach to their logs will show up in here. So if you've got an Earth cache like mine, you can click there and go, yeah, okay, that's a decent picture. I'll accept that. I won't delete their log. Right? So very cool stuff like that. Something else that's a little buried on the page, but I want to point it out because I think it's super duper cool, is the helpful links section. These aren't actually helpful links. So I know our chat lackey was very pleased to see that the regional geocaching policies are in here. Those are sometimes hard to find. So those are like right at your fingertips now as a cache owner. The page for actually hiding a cache, the review process, everything's right here. So this is a very, very cool addition to your geocaching toolkit. And, I say thank you and kudos to HQ for sharing that out. I think that this is fantastic. But that was a lot of talking from me. I am curious if our guests tonight have any thoughts about the dashboard.
I looked at it and I liked it. I don't have a lot of active hides, but it was really nice to see all the activity and the pictures and to me that was very nice. That was the best part about it. Instead of looking at the emails and seeing if you want to delve into the log further based on the email. This is good.
Yeah, I like the fact that it's all in one place, and so if you've got a lot of fine caches out, like I do, I've got 40 or 50, something like that, a lot. It's one location, one click. You're there. You can get a quick synopsis, or if you want to do a deep dive on one, you can do that and see what's going on that cache. And I like that versus going into the hides menu and then trying, you on the hides menu, you see everything. You see all the archived ones as well as, the active ones. And it's just a little more cumbersome where this site, it's just one click, boom, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that.
There you go. Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. Yep. GSM times 2 says he has a lot of hides and he loves it. He loves seeing all the logs on one page. So yeah, there you go. Some good feedback.
He also said, "Wow, no disabled or needs maintenance." Yeah, like I said earlier, it's easier when you have under 600 geocache hides.
It does help. It does make it easier. That's true. But I mean, I've got 37 active hides right now, and it's a fair bit. It's enough that it keeps me busy. Yes, the helpful links for new hiders is absolutely super duper helpful to have.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a good move by GCHQ.
Yep.
There you go. And bring up CRS 98s. There you go. So this is a great ad for this system that it works, right? So that says, first time I looked at it, it reminded me that I had one cache that has a needs maintenance log. I checked the next day and replaced it. So, I mean, that's the whole purpose of the dashboard, right? So
it works.
It works. Field tested by CRS 98.
Yeah, it's super helpful, and it's great to have it all organized that way. Even, if you only have a couple of hides. So I can see the benefits, even though I have a lame number of hides out. And that's another reason to look at it. So you go, hey, look at that. I need to hide more. Oh, look at that. I am a pathetic cache hider.
You're a finder, not a hider.
Well, and I always say, don't hide more than you can maintain, right? So
Exactly.
Okay, I'm archiving them all right now.
sounds like a party.
Yeah.
At the end of the show,
Yeah.
well,
Well, hey, we heard from our guests how they like the dashboard, but let's hear from our guests about themselves. Throwing it in the order you did back to the eastern side of Washington and Spokane there, talk about coming from the blue corner all the way from Cache Advance. It's JD and Lisa. Tell us a little about yourselves, and welcome back to the show, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thanks for inviting us back. Yeah. So, I don't know where to start exactly. I've been geocaching since 2002, and it's just become a lifestyle for me. And I launched my business in 2005, Cache Advance, selling gear and bringing inspiration to geocachers. And over the last 15 years, I've evolved and brought a lot of new things to geocaching world. And just, my goal is just to help geocachers have more fun out there.
Yeah. I'm JD. My geocaching name is Kid Vegas 19. I started geocaching in 2007 in the fall. Been at it ever since. Somewhere along the lines, met her. That turned out well, and
You did good.
and really enjoying where this game is taking me.
Yeah.
Before I started geocaching, I maybe had been in 3 states and a couple feet into Canada, and now let's see, I need Alaska and North Dakota, and to get the states. So yeah, and all the people you meet, it's amazing.
Yeah. Although this year meeting people has been different, which I'm sure we're going to get to in a moment.
Yes.
But yeah, that's been the most amazing thing. Geocaching community. It's just an amazing community. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it and to help facilitate it.
Well, thanks for all that you bring to the game, and thanks for being here tonight again. Coming back over to the western half of the state, WSGA President MC3 Cats, because Land Monkey didn't say it that way earlier and I missed it.
I know. I should have a turntable in front of me or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or some,
We'll
or
leave
some
that.
fishing lures in your hat.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Could do that too. But we'll leave that for the professionals.
Okay. Okay.
So as you alluded, yes, I am the current WSGA president, which is the Washington State Geocaching Association. If you don't know what the acronym stands for, I got into geocaching beginning of 2009, and really just never looked back. I'm just about hitting 16,000. I'm just a few finds shy of that in terms of cache count. And as I said earlier, I've got, I think, over 40 active caches at this point, including a couple of earth caches. And yeah, where it goes is kind of my thing. I got quite a few of those out, and got another one in the works, Mr. of the Northwest. We've talked a little bit about something down your way. So I've already got the cache container for that, but anyway, I won't get into that. So that's been kind of my thing. And I agree with JD and Lisa about the community. As we're going to talk about that today, but going to events, whether they're little rinky-dink couple people to mega events, traveling to various parts of for me, the continent. I have not gone off this rock yet, but going up to Canada and various states. I've done a cross-country road trip and worked a few caches in as we drove from one side of the country to the other. So that's been a nice little addition to doing something as mundane as driving across the country. So it's been a lot of fun. Met some fantastic people. I think some of my best friends, are geocachers at this point. So I've enjoyed it. It's been a blast.
You never know who's going to jump in your car on the Black Ball Ferry.
Right. Exactly.
Really good with the task story there.
There he is.
All right, so we'll get to that one in the after show. But you've both talked about making new friends, meeting friends, and of course the events. You've both talked about the events, which is a big part, that social aspect of the geocaching game. And under normal circumstances, geocachers would certainly be hanging out at events, getting to know one another, and trading trackables and doing all the zany things that we do at our geocaching events. But we know it's not happening right now. But we've brought you guys, all three of you, on the show because you've built community in a bit of a different way over the past few months. So we'd really like to hear about some of that from you guys. Why don't you jump in and share with us? Maybe start with Lisa and JD, the approach that you guys have taken.
Yeah, so we launched what's called Mappy Hour. So it's kind of a take on happy hour for those of us that enjoy maps. It's a name that I've kicked around for a while, actually a couple of years, trying to figure out how to maybe do that as an event or something, maybe at a brewery. But when COVID happened and, our communities were being shut down and we were all given stay-at-home orders, and obviously geocaching events were all being canceled and we're being attacked by a cat. Sorry, another catastrophe. One of my business coach said to me, how are you showing up for your community? What are you doing for your community right now? And that kind of lit a fire underneath me. And, I knew how to use Zoom and how to, manage Zoom meetings. I've been doing them for a few years. So I thought, why don't we throw Mappy Hour, finally, make it happen, but as a Zoom call to bring people in to connect. It just started out as just as a way for geocachers to connect. And it's evolved into a themed, each Friday night, we meet together at 6 p.m. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and do a themed conversation. And so that's how it started for me. It was just me being asked by my business coach, how are you showing up for your community? And me knowing I've got some tools. So let's make this happen. And it's really grown. We've had 60 up to almost 100 people on at a time. So yeah, that's where we started.
Wow. Now, in the chat, we have GSM times 2 that says, no, he's tossing the link into the Zoom Mappy Hour.
Mhm.
So that's, just feel free to write that down. It's going to roll
Yeah.
out.
I think all you have to remember is the uppercase A. That
Yeah,
should be-
exactly.
Oh
It's
boy.
very
Yeah.
convenient.
So I'll get another link up tomorrow on my Cash Advance Facebook page. How
Exactly.
to register. You need to register if you want to be a part of the Zoom call. And then we also do our best to push it out to my Facebook page so people can view there as well. But Facebook and Zoom don't always talk nicely these days. because
Facebook doesn't play
is-
well with a lot of things.
Yeah, Facebook is trying to make their own meeting group thing, so it doesn't always work right. So your best bet is to get onto the Zoom call, and I can host up to 100 people currently on my Zoom calls.
Nice.
And the themes are not strict about, tonight's show is about travel bugs, so don't talk about where I go.
Yeah.
And
No.
and so basically it's all over the board, and then we'll come back to the theme as a touch point.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we've had quite a few new cachers jump in that have, found me through Facebook or what have you. And then they join into the Mappy Hour. And so we've been able to do some coaching and mentoring of some of the new cachers. And it's worked very well. We ask people to treat Mappy Hour just like you would another geocaching event. Keep it family friendly. We don't know if there's going to be kids in the rooms with us and, as we're broadcasting from our homes or what have you. So it all needs to be kept family friendly. And we ask people to raise their hands so we don't all talk at once. And I prefer that everybody stays muted if they're not talking, because as we know on these calls, if you've got background noise, it can override somebody who's maybe saying something very important that you want to hear. So it's worked really well.
Now, Seebeck Tribe says, I love Mappy Hour. Lots of great conversation.
There have been some awesome conversations, and because I use Searchy, which is a kind of like Google for video, I'm saving all of the videos, and I haven't finished putting them all together yet, but they will actually be searchable by keyword. So soon you'll be able to, hey, I was on Mappy Hour, last month, and I remember somebody said something about this GeoTour in Tennessee. So they just need to type in GeoTour or Tennessee, and they'll be brought to that exact moment in that particular Mappy Hour where that was mentioned. So that's functionality that'll be coming up very soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. I see that UDAC has given a shout out to GSM times 2, who also is doing a similar thing for his SoCal community and building community there by hosting weekly Zoom events. So kudos.
And I
GSM.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was new. Yeah. And MC3 Cats, you're hosting one as well. And that's kind of why you're here tonight.
Not that I don't love hanging out with you guys, of course, but yeah. So the WSGA, one of our core functions in our organization is, of course, our chapter reps are tasked with having events within their regional chapters, and obviously with things the way they are right now and events aren't happening, we had to come up with an alternative way to get cachers together, since we can't do it the traditional way. So unfortunately, we had to pass on a number of really wonderful events that we do yearly, like APE. We also have a big picnic that takes place during in the Puget Sound chapter, for instance, and various other events that our reps put on throughout the year. So those are all pretty much canned at this point. So we came up with this idea, or at least this was sort of my idea, really. And I've been thinking about it for a while. And I'm just like, you know what, we need to do this. So I started on April 4th, our first Geo Cafe, and really it was meant to be pretty much a wide open, format. There was no real canned sort of, subject or topic. We kind of left it open. We would talk about adventure labs, for instance, which seems to be a common theme in this meeting that we do. And it's a Zoom meeting as well. It's on Saturday nights at 7:30, and we talk about a lot of things. This is kind of like whatever somebody wants to bring up. It could be a puzzle cache, and we've all sat around, the group of folks on there, and we'll start looking at a puzzle cache, and then someone will say, "Oh, what about this one over here is kind of similar. I know how to to solve that." So we've done stuff like that. We've talked about what a good adventure lab is and what's not. That seems to be a fun topic that we've been. I think every meeting we have, we've always talked about a new lab adventure. So that's it, in the topic, or it just comes up, but we just kind of leave it pretty open, loosey goosey. We've talked, and it's not always been geocaching related, of all odd things too. Other topics come up during the Zoom meeting, but it's been a lot of fun, and I've had a blast hosting it. And at this point, don't see any changes in terms of not doing it, since we're still pretty much locked down as events go.
Right.
So we share the link. It's actually in two places. We have it on our Facebook page, of course, but also it's on our website. And I keep the same Zoom meeting link for each one. So if you find if you go on our website, it's right there on the home page. You may have to scroll down for it because it will get buried with other announcements we make, but it's on the announcement portion of our page. Just click on there, 7:30 Saturday nights. And in fact, we did one on the 4th of July, which was kind of interesting with all the fireworks going off. But no, that wasn't a bomb going off in my neighborhood. That was somebody with an M80, which actually happened.
Zoom call in a war zone.
Yeah, it was kind of loud, but we had a good turnout, which was great. So the whole point of that was just to keep it wide open. I really didn't want to tie us down to any particular topic, because I wanted people to come on and feel like they can, contribute if they've got a question. There's basically nothing. There's no off limits topic for the most part. And so it's been great. We've been getting more and more people on there as we go along. So it's been a lot of fun.
Chris, that really sounded like a challenge to me. There's been no off-limit topics. I bet you I could fix that.
Well, within reason, obviously, as Lisa mentioned, family friendly. We're not going to go off that, off that reservation and go into, the dark web kind of stuff or any of that nonsense. But no, I mean, there is some parameters. So, but we've talked about things non-geocaching. Not Munsies particularly, but we've talked about other things that aren't necessarily.
You said the M word.
We said the M word. So, coins, we've talked about trackables. We just various things. There's nothing. I like it.
Pretty cool.
Keep it open.
Yeah, well, one other thing you talked about was puzzles. Oh, there you go. Seebeck Tribe says WSG chat is great, and don't ask MC3 Cats about his Oregon Lab adventure.
Yes, unfortunately, that particular adventure has come up a number of times in our meetings, and I won't call this particular adventure out, but there was a pretty bad one in northern part of Oregon that I won't get into, but show up at the Saturday's meeting, and I'm sure you'll probably hear about it because somebody will bring it up. And
that's gonna say, yeah, that's
sure now.
That's intriguing. But where I was going is you were talking about puzzles earlier, and Wet Coaster contributed that he's part of a group in Ontario that holds Zoom chats. It seems to be a popular theme to solve puzzles. And recently, the CEO of the Puzzle Cache, the CEO of the Puzzle Cache was present, and recently he says we had a reviewer explain several of his puzzles that one week. So that was helpful.
Yeah, I think it's a great way, because this happens during an actual Geo event. People will get together. They're going to talk about some crazy puzzle cache that they've been trying to wrap their head around for weeks or months, and then they'll sit down at a table and start talking, and bang, someone's like, okay, yeah, I've seen this. Let me explain it to you. And that was kind of the idea. Open forum. If somebody wants to come in and bring a GC number, and we want to talk about some 4-star difficulty puzzle, hey, we can do that because we got enough people on there that will look at it and go, hey, why don't you try looking at this, or have you thought of treating it sort of that way and looking at it from this point of view. And I think that's great because we're doing basically the same kind of thing that we would be doing in person at an event. And that was really kind of the idea behind this. And I'm sure with JD and Lisa, you guys are doing the same thing. You're getting folks together, and we can't get together in person. So this is an alternative way to do it. And you can be anywhere. You don't have to be in Washington State. You can be in Australia or New Zealand or anywhere. And if you want to get up at 2 a.m. and show up on our events, go for it.
Yeah, we've had people from England and Australia and New Zealand join in our Mappy Hour. So that's been really fun. And people from East Coast to West Coast.
There you go. I mean, some of those folks in other time zones may have a sleepless night. They're thinking about some puzzle cache that they have not been able to solve. They get on the internet. Hey, there's a meeting. Maybe I can. In fact, I was working on one in England that I still can't figure out.
Puzzle League.
But
Well, MC3 Cats, you brought up a good point, because when you're at an event and you're walking around and maybe you're just getting up to stretch your legs and you walk past a table and go, are you talking about that puzzle? That's the one I've been trying to solve. And just being able to have that spontaneous conversation, or in my case is like, give me a hint here because I have no idea where to go with that one.
exactly.
That's the help that a lot of us are missing. And I think between you and Lisa, you've kind of hit the nail on the head here on what geocachers are looking for and how to build community, even when we can't get together in person.
Yeah. We've been working really hard to do that in multiple ways. One with our Mappy Hour. We launched the Puzzle League for people to come together to learn from Coley, who wrote the book on how to puzzle cache.
Literally.
As a membership. And right now I've got the Geocaching Jumpstart, teaching brand new people who've never cached before, or maybe have tried but weren't successful. And we're on day 3 right now. It's a 5-day challenge to help them find their first 5 caches in just 5 days. And so I have over 250 people on that challenge right now. And I'm thrilled to be able to teach them, the etiquette, the ins and outs, and how to successfully find their first caches. Because so many people get a false start and then never come back. And this is something I can present. It's completely online. They're able to download the videos and the lessons and such, because we can't be there in person for them today.
Right.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah, being online allows you to reach beyond your local city or your local caching community. So,
well, and if you think about it, just what we do with these Zoom meetings is just that. I mean, a local event is great. You're going to get a lot of the same people. Sure, you'll get a few newbies that are curious and want to know more and will pop in. But this sort of format with Zoom, you can reach a lot more people than you could ever reach in just a small 30, 40 people event that you would have in your local chapter or your local town or wherever. So this medium is really pretty phenomenal, that where you can reach a lot more people in all corners of the globe.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we were launching the Puzzle League, we did a seminar with Coley teaching all about, kind of the basic topical areas for geocaching.
Yeah, webinar.
Yeah. And we had 890 people join us on our Zoom webinar for over an hour. An hour afterwards, we were still at 870 people that were still online with us, learning from Coley. And then we had a big Q&A session. So we're able to help almost 1,000 people. I mean, if it was a geocaching event, we would have gone mega in about 3 minutes.
Darn.
Yeah.
Without the issue of parking.
Right.
No parking, not a problem at all.
No
Yeah.
porta potties. Yeah. That's
Right.
Yeah, no lines, nothing. You just click and you were there. Yeah, it was awesome, and we had great results. And we were able to really help a lot of people.
Well, and speaking of puzzle solving events, our forest fiddling friend Keats94 has noted that he's joined a few Zoom puzzle solving conferences during the COVID era and still misses the face-to-face socializing. So there's definitely that aspect that we all do miss, but definitely as well the ability for us to still find a way to connect and learn new things as well.
I mean, it gives us a chance to still socialize, because a lot of geocaching is that, and people may not, if you're new to it, you don't really get that, at least initially, until you've really gotten into it for a few months and somebody tells you about an event and you're like, oh, that sounds cool. So yeah, I mean, it is a major part of this game is getting cachers together and telling those tall caching tales. I mean, who doesn't love that? It's always so much fun. And this, Zoom gives us a chance to, as an outlet, to still, connect, socialize, and be geocachers with other geocachers.
Yeah.
Nice. Now, some Freakouts, I wonder, you're with the WSGA. Now, this is open to any geocacher. It doesn't have to be a WSGA member, correct?
Absolutely. Because our events are open to everybody, so this is no different.
There you go. But of course, if they wanted to become a member, they could do that as well.
Absolutely, they can. You can go right on over to the WSGAonline.org and visit our website and sign up right there.
We have Seaback Tribe that says, I've learned about so many cool hiders and caches to go get from the WSGA chat.
Yeah, like I said, it's an open forum, so we'll talk about some pretty phenomenal caches. In fact, we did talk about that last Saturday, as a matter of fact. We were talking about epic caches in Washington, and man, we just opened the floodgates when we did that, because everybody started talking about, and it wasn't just Washington. There was some even outside of the state. So we were talking about epic caches, which was a lot of fun.
I hear there's this Epic Lab series in Oregon.
Sure.
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Clatskanie, Oregon. That's where you need to go. I'll leave it at that. I've said too much already.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Well, I think
Now-
Oh,
go
that's
ahead.
sweet, Lori. Thank you.
Lori says, I love what Lisa's doing to get newbies going with support.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm tickled that I've had over 250 people sign up for my 5-day challenge.
That is phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah.
Oh, and people are still joining, and it's 3 days into the challenge. So.
Yeah, I've been having people messaging me right and left just today. Can we still join? Because it's already day 3. But I'm like, yeah, just binge watch it and you can catch up.
Because what else you got to do?
Yeah.
You can corn stream it.
Yeah, there you go.
And you don't need to wear a mask to do that. So
That's
there you
right.
go.
GSM times 2 also threw out that he never imagined that all his friends were geocachers, and that he would have geocaching friends all over the United States of America and Canada. I'll throw that in there as well sometimes too, and even Australia. So there you go. That's fantastic, and it's one of the great things that we've been talking about. We've kind of been forced into this situation where we've got to move the game to, at least the social aspect of the game, to a digital platform. And I did see a comment earlier, I can't remember who made it in the chat, asking about is HQ going to officially endorse digital events? And we know the answer from Rock Chalk is no.
Nope.
And there's a lot of really good reasons they won't do that, but it doesn't stop us from
Right.
still just seeking out to make those connections and
Yeah.
doing that. And so I think it's fantastic. It's something that I don't think the game necessarily would have embraced as much
Mhm.
if we weren't in this situation. So,
Sure.
silver linings and all. But it's geocachers making the best out of the situation, and a good number of geocachers, and a lot of them who listen to this podcast, hooray, who have taken a leadership role in doing that. So, a thank you not only to our guests, but to GSM Times, to Wet Coaster, Keats, everybody
Mhm.
else who's contributing in whatever way to keeping the community going.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that's what we wanted to focus on this evening, to get the word out that, there are other geocachers that want to talk with you. Get out there and get on a Zoom meeting and start chatting it up. GSM Times 2 says, and the communication at a Zoom meeting is also better than 24 people sitting around 6 tables and only talking to the people at their table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing breakout rooms in Zoom, but we haven't done
We
that yet.
don't do that.
Yeah.
That's starting to sound like work.
Yeah. Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I would have grabbed the chair along the wall and sat there quiet, waited.
Yeah. Yeah. The Zoom meetings, even with up to 100 people, they still feel, what's the word I'm looking for?
Manageable.
No, that's not it, but just close.
Oh, close.
Intimate.
Yeah. It's just a small group, intimate. That's what I'm looking for. Even though it could be multiple people, you can see lots of different faces, and people can interact, and then you've got chat going as well as along with the conversation like we're having here tonight. So yeah.
But where people are putting links to puzzle caches that we're talking about, and everybody's going to jump over and look at it, and so that there's that. But yeah, the only downside that I can see is you don't get a smiley for attending it. So but, you don't get you get a real time smiley versus
Yeah.
There you go.
Virtual.
Well,
That's
the
better
GSM
anyway.
Times 2 said, we don't need no stinking icon to meet with each other. We'll
That's right.
do it anyway.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You get it right on the head with that.
Hey, you don't get an icon for coming on Thursday night and chatting, but we're sure glad you're here.
There you go.
Pixels.
It's building community. It's what
Yeah.
that's what this show does, and that's what both Lisa and JD and the WCA we're trying to do. Try to keep it going, even though we can't be face to face in the same room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Well,
fantastic.
and I'm talking about subjects that I probably wouldn't talk about at a local event into any great depth, like refreshing the game board, right? I mean, we had an excellent session on that. I learned a ton of stuff. GSMX times GM Scott had all sorts of really good ideas on how to actually go through your caches to see if it qualifies to be refreshed or not. It's stuff that I didn't think about.
Mhm.
And I'm like, 10 years, you're gone. And maybe one of those caches meant something to somebody. And but other topics, just like that labs we have coming up.
Yeah. Tomorrow night.
just-
It's all about labs at our Mappy Hour.
and then-
Maybe I'll stop by and bring up that one. I will not do that.
and the thing
Don't worry,
where
we'll bring it up for
stuff
you.
I even know, trackables, travel bugs, and things of that nature, and just hearing some of the success stories of somebody set this out to do this and it made it, and it's a different type of experience for me, because I wouldn't necessarily talk about that at an event.
Well, and other things we talk about at events are the little victories we get with geocaching, and sometimes so we had Donna sharing on the show here that her love of the glow badge she has received, and she's looking forward to adding it to her profile shortly. So even things like that are fun to talk about.
Nice.
We do a whole show on souvenirs. How many have you got? What was the most satisfying souvenir you got? I mean, there's so many different. I mean, if you really wanted to go topics on these weekly Zoom meetings, I mean, you can, and I don't think you'd have an endless content for sure. Which I mean, that's a great idea. I think I might even bring that idea up. You know, what was your most epic, souvenir? What that you got, and tell a little story about that.
Yeah.
See, I might use that idea for Saturday. So there you go. Give me
a lot of them have stories attached to them, right? That's
I'm just gonna pull the curtain back and show you guys a little bit of what I'm gonna do on Saturday.
awesome.
Not
You
that
heard
that's
it here first.
not that I have an actual a topic every night, but that's a good icebreaker, I guess.
Awesome.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
China.
UDAC says, some people might think my lab is not great.
Oh no.
Well, I think we've decided the arbiter of quality of Adventure Labs is MC3 Cats. So he's going to have to. You're safe for a while until he can travel to California, and then he'll assess it at some point.
I'm sure UDAC's got a phenomenal adventure out there. If it's in California, I'm sure it is phenomenal.
There you go.
There you go.
GSM times 2 says hearing about bad examples of lab caches can be as important as sharing good lab caches.
That's
what to do and what not to do, right?
That is a fantastic. Yeah, he's got a great point there. Scott has a fantastic point because you can. I mean, again, not to pick on this one in Oregon, but that's a perfect example of a bad one. And then you can go and look at so many other ones that are obviously well thought out. They're put together so you're not doing a ton of backtracking and just those sorts of things. You could tell somebody sat down and thought about it and didn't make you try to figure out what the code word is without anything there to help you with that. Which you're sending me down the rabbit hole, and I'm just,
I feel like we're starting to get the story. We'll get into that more in the after show, but as we start to wrap things up here,
PTSD.
Sorry, Chris.
MC3 Cats is having a little PTSD.
I was going to say, as we start to wrap things up, why don't we remind our listeners of how they can find the various online social gatherings that you guys are hosting. Lisa and JD, do you want to let people know first where they can find Mappy Hour?
Yeah, probably the best place would be at my Cache Advance Facebook page. I need to update that, but it will be an event very shortly. I had it set up as a recurring event, and I honestly didn't think how long it would be going. So I need to reset it to a future date. And we've decided we're going to keep on doing it until nobody shows up, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great
So
idea.
you go to Cache Advance, my Facebook page, and that will be the place to find that, to register.
Awesome. And MC3 Cats for the WSGA. What's it called again? Sorry.
GeoCafe.
GeoCafe. I was going to call it Coffee Cache. I knew that was wrong. Okay, the GeoCafe. Where do people find the GeoCafe?
So you'll find that on our actually two places. So swing by the Washington State Geocaching Association Facebook page. There's links in there, but also our website under the announcements section, which is right on the homepage. You'll have to scroll down because I have to. We do other announcements on there, like we've got a board meeting coming up here in another couple of weeks, so that's going to be put on there. So it's so you'll have to click on it and scroll down. But those are the two easiest places to find it.
There you go.
Guys, thank you so much. I need to mention all three of you are patrons, so thank you so much for all of that, and for coming on the show tonight, and for building community. You guys are fantastic.
Well, I want to thank you guys for letting us come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
One day you're going to learn your lesson.
Probably not. We don't learn very well.
Okay.
Yeah, odds aren't good on that front.
Well, you know what? This is the point where we just realize how messed up we are. And then we take a moment to thank Landsharks, our corporate Denali level sponsor. Landsharks.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. And remember, they are still shipping orders daily. And we want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters. That is Landsharks, JP's Geo Designs, Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, and Cashly. And folks, if you want to know more about supporting this show, click that Patreon link over on the cashingnw.com, a website. And then we will publicly humiliate you in the following manner.
We may or may not pronounce your name properly, or we may say it in a manner that you find either
Online.
funny or odd, like log work,
How about Team Noltex?
Give McD,
wet coaster,
MC3 Cats right down there.
Antaeus,
greenworks.
Cashly.
Trexer Zero. Thanks for the help on the cache this weekend.
Acrodoc.
Subway Mark. I didn't even hear Chris that time.
So
Subway
quiet.
Mark.
Kitty Quest, and Boomer 365.
B Pendragon.
Limax. Thanks for the feedback on the website.
How about Kid Vegas 19?
How about Kid Vegas 19? Yeah.
How about
But-
that guy?
Yeah. How about Dune Buddy?
Yeah, how about him too? And how about the creator of the glow,
Mm.
Dora Moore?
Ah,
Billy Robson,
Fairwood West.
The most sociable and welcoming person in Victoria, as far as we know, Highlands guy.
Yeah.
apparently he will take you to any of catches. All you have to
Oh.
do is just let him know you're in the area.
All the caches in Victoria. apparently.
it's happened, yeah.
Ala Robrick,
Also welcoming in Victoria the Geo Travelers.
CRS 98.
one of my favorite appliances, LG 9000.
Active in the chat tonight is Wino Seattle, and the little one, I hope, is doing well.
Yes, yeah, hopefully. And Sprouter, thanks for all the awesome photos you keep posting.
And GSM times 2, also hosting weekly chat in Southern California.
Great. And on a boat.
Oh, I just love that name. I don't know what it is.
I'm on a boat.
On a boat. Seebeck Tribe. Seebeck Tribe, thank you so much for the emails back and forth this weekend. It was great to chat with you.
How about TechMag?
How about GeoNav Pros?
How about Sege Hovet?
Well, and then there's Genies.
And the Camp Clan.
There's good old Broncos fan for life.
Cannibal Barb,
T. Sayer.
Our fine friend fiddling in the forest, Keats 94.
and M Nerd. Thank you, each and every one.
We appreciate all of them, and we appreciate all of you and our guests. Thanks so much. And I know we've mentioned where to find these geocafes and mappy hours and stuff, but what if they just want to reach out and drop you a personal note? How would you like people to reach you?
Well, I'm Lookout Lisa at geocaching. So lookoutlisa@gmail.com.
yeah, and KidVegas19 at gmail.com or through the geocaching app.
Awesome.
Me, MC3 Cats, you can just drop me a message right there on the geocaching.com site, mc3cats at gmail.com. Pretty easy. And then, of course, there's the WSGA website. We have a little contact link there where you can send us a message that way as well.
Easy enough.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and as for us hosts, well, you know what? We're out there. We're like seriously, we're really out there. But you can find us on cashingnw.com/hosts.
Yep.
All of our personal private information has been put out there by Chris. Thanks a lot.
That's the best place to go.
Yeah, we were going to talk to you about that.
Other
but,
fake name. Oh, it's all out there. Folks, thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Don't forget that you can be part of the show. Call in to 253-693-TFTC. Leave us a comment, ask us a question, or tap into our webcams any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cashingnw.com. I don't leave mine on all the time. I'm just like,
Well, if you're putting all your personal information out there, really, what's webcam access? Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where were you?
also, I lost where I was. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, click the Patreon link on the cashingnw.com website and subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and more. Give us a thumbs up or one of those coveted reviews. The show is produced by Chris Umfenauer, Jim Paulwoods, and Jay Kennedy. It's created under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2020 by Chris Umfenauer. And folks, I beg you to stay tuned for
The after show.
It just goes on and on and on.
I can do it again.
Some nights.
after show.
It's like you're Heidi, in the German Highlands somewhere. Just the after
Yodel. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's like your Woody Goomspa.
Woody Goomsba.
Oh, don't go down that rabbit hole.
There's a Pacific Northwest reference.
Trying to find my yodeling pickle.
Yeah.
I think it's over on the workbench.
Oh, that's not a good place to leave your yodeling pickle.
Yeah, well,
It's our pickle.
Okay.
I do have my wind up hopping later, Hosen.
Ah,
There you go.
one must always.
Dan is smart. He's not going down that one.
No comment.
That is so smart.
Oh,
So speaking of IHAM, he said both Monkey Cakes and himself finished off their Memory Lane collections while celebrating the anniversary. Oh, celebrating their anniversary. I thought
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
no, like an important anniversary. Like their wedding anniversary. Well, congratulations, you guys.
That's awesome.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. And Monkey Cakes also is now more than a third of the way to 10,000 fines, meaning that she just got fined 3,333 on Monday. So all kinds of things to congrats you guys for.
Oh, that's great.
Limax could tell us something about that number.
Yeah.
I bet he could.
MC3 Cats, you should know that you put little Theo to sleep. So thank you. That's kind of our job here at the podcast is to get children to go to sleep. So just put the podcast on and our dulcet tones will lull them quickly. And probably some of our listeners while they're driving. So you might want to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't want to put yourself to sleep if you're driving.
Or operate heavy machinery.
Yeah, those are the warning labels on those pill bottles that we see, right? You can have that right across the screen here as the show starts.
Well, I figure that if you're not qualified, you shouldn't operate heavy machinery anyways. But,
That's true.
apparently, if I don't take certain pills, I can operate heavy machinery with a license or not, which is
I was
pretty
going to say,
awesome. Think about it.
I commute to Seattle. There are people operating machinery that should not be operating machinery, licensed or not.
Doesn't that usually start with here, hold my beer?
Yeah, pretty much most
It's
of my
like the,
adventures are that way.
Hey, honey, watch this. Or, hang on, I want to try something.
Yeah. I could drive on that beach.
Yeah.
To which IHAM and Monkey Cakes will say a trip to the ER is not on the agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just bring some zip ties to tie up your spoiler. We're good.
There you go. Zip ties and duct tape. You're good to go.
Mrs. Wino Seattle agrees. Apparently, we lull her to sleep every Thursday night.
I'm sure that's probably not too hard for Nikki with the little one. She's probably keeping some pretty hard hours anyway, so probably wouldn't take much to put her to sleep at this point. Yeah, I've been there. I know what that's like.
I didn't want to put this up, but apparently my puns will make them cringe and want to go to sleep.
Aw.
Thank you.
Maybe-
We love your dad jokes, Chris.
Maybe he met MC3 Cats. He's also a Chris.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
So you can pass the buck there, right?
This is Jim's. Yeah.
Wet Coaster wants to know what's baking tonight, because we do know now that is a tradition for many of our listeners to bake while they listen to the podcast. So those who aren't sleeping are baking or operating heavy machinery. So
You don't want people sleeping and baking. That's
No, never
that's
bake and
gotta-
sleep.
That's got a really a bad ending, I think. There.
Yeah, you usually end up with egg on your face.
Yeah, third-degree burns. Who knows? You know.
Hold on. And he thinks my puns are better. Just saying.
I thought I would try and level the playing field, Chris. Just helping you out, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So if I understand this correctly, the point of this show is to crash the internet and put people to sleep.
And
Simultaneously.
And bake.
And bake. And do it all
Yes.
safely.
Encourage baking. That's right.
Yes.
And putting babies to sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You know, that sounds like we're providing a public service here. We're helping the community. There you go.
We are an essential service.
Yeah.
I've spent a
we
lot
have
of
to
time
stay
doing
open.
public service. Oh, wait a minute. We're not talking about that? Oh, sorry. Mandated. Yeah.
Too many leftovers.
And no hashtag podcast baking this week. Oh, man.
Too bad.
I can help with leftovers. Just saying.
Yeah, it was leftovers here tonight too.
And again, it's a public service that we do.
It
So
is.
have we
Oh.
shared with you guys about Spocash?
Please.
Oh, I want to
No.
hear about this.
Yeah. So Spocash is our annual coin challenge.
Mhm.
We normally launch it the weekend after 4th of July. But this year, due to COVID, we decided to delay. And we were looking at Memorial Weekend, but with everything else canceling in August and other opportunities that came up, we're going to be launching 8/8/2020. So that's the second Saturday of August, and it's all lab caches. So within our volunteer group of Spocash, our volunteer group, we have, I think, 7
7 sets of 5, yeah.
7 sets of 5, roughly, even 8.
Maybe even 8.
We keep losing count because we keep getting awarded more lab adventures, and so we're putting them all together, kind of themed, and also looking at planning to put them geographically concise, so you don't have to backtrack a lot to do them all. And you only need to get 20 of the labs to qualify for our challenge.
So what we
You know,
haven't
this
yet is if you, I think what we're going to go with is you need to get 4 complete sets as opposed to just 20 throughout the.
Yeah,
And that-
2 here, 3
Yeah.
there of different adventures. Yeah, we're still kind of nailing that.
But we're
down.
gonna have so many that, and they're gonna be all over the town
Mhm.
that no matter which direction you're coming from, you can pick up this tag, this prize, pretty easily.
Yeah.
Hopefully we set it up for, Scott's right. Knowing what makes it bad is just as important as knowing what makes it good.
Right.
You know what? You guys are going to put out one heck of a bash this year. I know you guys. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at some of the previous ones you've done over the prior years. Yeah, I wouldn't worry about any bad lab adventures with you guys. Spokane's such an awesome place anyway. So there's that. There's so much history and such out there. So
Well, speaking of GSM times 2, he wants to know if we can see the coin.
good question.
Well, we're
I don't
actually.
know.
Do we
can
want
try.
to disclose that?
What? Yeah, sure. It's
So-
a challenge.
Yeah. We're actually doing a Cashkins this
Oh.
year,
Nice.
as opposed to a full-blown coin, just because of production issues with China.
Ah, yes.
Right.
And COVID and time relation. Things are so slow for getting coins right now, but Cashkins are really easy to produce. So it's going to be a Cashkins, but it's going to be a thicker, nicer one. Do
Yeah,
you have the
so-
design?
You should somewhere.
Ah, you talk, I'll look.
So the tag we're talking about, the WSGA people will remember the Spot the Ape tag from 2 years ago. It was a very heavy tag, almost as heavy as a coin, and it's made out of iron, and so you can magnetize it or hang it with magnets, things of that nature. She's looking for the
Oh, damn it.
yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Spot on.
But I don't know how you're gonna do
Yeah,
it.
sometimes it's okay. That was a bad idea.
Can I share my screen?
It is
Yeah.
the after show.
Yep,
yeah,
you should
you
be
can do
able
that.
to. You can try pulling that up. So for those who are maybe listening to the audio version, you'll want to at least skip ahead to this point in the video, so get a look at the Cashkins coming out for Spocash.
Yeah.
Approximately 1 hour and 5 minutes.
And set a reminder for next Thursday night to join us live.
There you go.
Ooh, look at us.
Oh, yeah.
Look at us looking at us looking at us.
Looking at us, yeah.
Oh, that is
There you go.
pretty cool.
Very cool.
So it's not finalized. We're still finalizing it, but this is one side of it.
Wow, that's cool.
That
That's
is
awesome.
cool.
I love it.
And
Nice.
that'll be the backside.
Fantastic.
What's the formula there?
Well, it equals the tracking code.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Nice
Every time.
tie.
It's amazing.
Every time it will resolve
Actually,
to
it's the theory of relativity multiplied by the square root of Ohm's law over pi times or plus
The Pythagorean
Pythagorean
theorem.
theorem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are elements from around Spokane and our lady scientist.
evil.
Well, she's not evil. She's kind of friendly looking, I think.
Smiling.
Well,
So yeah,
that's good.
that's what we're gonna do. The labs will have associated. Some will have bonus caches. Some
Yeah.
won't. And the bonuses are going to be strictly optional. And so you could do this entire series and earn the cashkins without opening a lid.
Yeah, completely
Wow.
touchless.
Great.
And we really don't think we're going to be able to host any events around this. So we're going to be releasing the passport early so people can download it. And as they go through the different lab adventures, they'll be presented with their code words to fill in their passports. And we're looking at potentially having a drive-in sort of event towards the end of the day, but it'll be like Facebook event, not an official geocaching, where people can show us that they've completed their passport, and we can, with tongs, hand them, throw them their award for
Yeah.
completing the challenge.
Sling,
Question comes with a free frisbee.
Yeah, yeah, awesome to you.
the wrist rocket also works.
And we'll all be touchless.
Yeah, get the wrist,
Slingshot.
get the slingshot.
Well,
Go long.
I was going to say Donna, Seebeck Tribe, and GSM Times 2 all give you very positive feedback on the
Yeah.
design for the Cashkins.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you. Well, thanks for letting us show it. Appreciate that
Wow,
very
thanks for
much.
sharing it. That was pretty cool. A little exclusive.
That's right.
Exactly.
You saw it here first.
Lisa says, "Don't tell anybody." But
Yeah.
No, nobody watches the show. You're fine.
Speaking of the lab adventures, I have started, and it's on our Facebook page. I have a map of the state of Washington, and I have been putting all of the lab adventures as they come out. I'm putting them on a map with pertinent information about each. And there's little pins that are going into it, so you can click on it, see what town it's in, the number of lab caches that are part of that series, and the town it's in. So when you guys launch your bunch out there in Spokane, I'll definitely put them on the Google map that I'm sharing, and that is pinned to the top of our Facebook page. So if you want to see, they're color coordinated, and somebody asked me what that meant, and basically I color coordinated it by chapter. So you can see how many chapters have, right now the Puget Sound chapter is the big winner with all the with the most lab adventures that are within the chapter, which makes sense because there's a lot of them in Seattle right now. So so that's what the colors mean. If somebody
All right,
Pops over
Inland Empire. It sounds like the challenge is out.
So it's out.
Yeah.
So I'll be looking for your for the Spocash adventures that are come out, and I'll definitely. I think there's already 4 of them. There's already 4 lab adventures in Spokane already,
Yeah.
or in
Yeah.
the greater Spokane area. I'm
Yeah, we've
including
got
the-
quite a few already, but a bunch are going to be coming out that day.
You're going to rival Seattle now because Seattle's got, I don't know, 10 or so. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Sounds like
don't-
a road trip.
I was gonna say, don't rival Seattle. Set your sights higher.
There you go. Hey, Spokane can do it.
Higher and nicer.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got more feedback for the FATAS. This one comes from CRS 98. He says, I managed to complete the Bellevue Blackout Challenge last weekend.
Wow.
Over 300 caches found in the city of Bellevue to complete this one.
Wow. That's like 2 years worth of caching. Good job.
That's a lot of cash.
You know, that really is a challenge.
Yes, it is.
If you were to look at, the map that encompasses that area, there's caches on Cougar Mountain that are some definite hikes to get to, and for Cliff to pull that off, that's a huge deal.
Mhm.
Yeah, Donna's right. I'd round of applause for that
That's
because it's huge.
Yeah, huge deal. Big deal. Nice. Let's see. We are an hour and 11. Do we want to talk about the Black Ball Ferry, or do we want to leave that for another day and just let people wonder?
I think leave it for another day and let people
Yeah.
wonder. That's the teaser here. That's the cliffhanger for tonight.
Yeah.
The
The
what?
Black Ball Ferry story.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's where this random people show up in your car. It's,
Well, it's a little more than that.
Maybe.
it's not bad enough that your car is on a boat.
Yeah.
I mean, you have that.
and the boat is rocking pretty incredibly. We'll throw that in there
Yeah.
too.
Story.
Excellent.
The teasers are just getting better
That's
and
right.
better. There you go.
And you're
Okay.
crossing the Strait of Juan de Fuca, so that's like a channel, like just a wind channel when the winds are howling. So and you're out on the ferry, and it's
Yeah. Keep your stick on the ice and keep your doors locked.
So tune in next week to see if we'll talk about the Black Ball Ferry story.
and keep your cookies checked too for that matter.
Mm. Otherwise, they get stolen.
Mhm.
Oh, guys,
Just
that was-
remember a suitcase of beer sliding around on the floor.
Yeah.
There's another story.
yeah, that was all the same story. It's just it's
all
a
part of
good
the fun.
story. Hey, folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. You know, we can't wait till we can get back together in person, but until that happens, get out and get caching in the Northwest.